to 7744.
Webb's Butcher Block has a high-profit fundraising program available. The program offers all the jerky, snack sticks, and summer sausage made here in Paineville, Kentucky. The products are produced in a facility that is inspected daily by the United States Department of Agriculture. Webb's fundraiser products can be shipped anywhere in the United States and Canada. If you need to raise money for your group or activity, call Webb's at 270-496-4124 or email them at support@webbsbutcherblock.com. Webb's is open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. till 4 p.m.
Oh no, you have a big event coming up and you're in charge of the food. What are you gonna do? No problem. Call Home Plate Restaurant in Brandenburg. They offer catering for all your special events, family reunions, office meetings, parties, weddings, and more. Kathy and her staff can do it all. Stop by or give them a call at 422-1759. Home Plate Restaurant in the River Ridge Plaza on the bypass in Brandenburg. Stop by today.
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside.
Don't miss the excitement of the Meade County Fair, July 23rd through 30th. Contests, games, food, rides, and so much more. Stop by our booth and spin the prize wheel. And listen to coverage of the Fair Parade, Miss Meade County Fair Pageant, demo derbies, truck and tractor pulls, and the 4-H FFA auction. Your Meade County Fair station is 93.5 WMMG.
Okay, friends, so you want to visit an amusement park this summer, but you really don't want to drive across the state, spend a fortune on gas and a hotel stay, just to wait in long ride lines. Well then, why not make the short drive to Beach Bend Park and Splash Lagoon Water Park? This area's best kept secret for family fun. Located minutes away in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Experience thrill rides, kiddie rides, live shows daily, a petting zoo, free putt-putt golf, and new in 2016, take a spin on our kid-friendly family coaster, Spinning Out. Need to cool off? Your admission gets you into Splash Lagoon Water Park, a water park oasis that features a wave pool, lazy river, Tiki Island water playground, and much more. So don't waste your time and money on a long trip to another park when you can have it all for less at Beach Bend and Splash Lagoon Water Park. And don't forget, buy a souvenir cup and get $1 refills all summer long. Beach Bend Park, your summer fun, family savings headquarters.
Turning further from my home. Young, like a new moon rising, fierce through the rain and lightning, wandering out into this great unknown. And I don't want no one to cry, but tell them if I don't survive,
Good morning once again, folks. The name of the show is Edgewise, and we have great guests. I always look forward to doing shows like this. Again, thank you, Ryan Skaggs, for introducing me to Miss Alena, and we have met other folks through her. And we're about to, the tradition continues, ladies and gentlemen, as we are going to Brother Steve gonna make once again another new friend. So please refresh. A lot of folks are coming out from and just going to lunch and stuff right now. Reintroduce everyone if you would, please, my dear.
My name is Alena Chesser. I'm the current reigning Miss Wheelchair Kentucky. I'm really excited to be going to Nationals in August to compete for Miss Wheelchair America. Hopefully I can bring that title back to Kentucky. We haven't had that title in 20 years.
Oh, the pressure's on, girl.
Oh, it is. It really is. And today I have with me here is Beth Bryant. We heard a little bit from her. She has spina bifida. And now we have Erica Wilson here with us. And she's from Glasgow, Kentucky. She's 36 years old. And she has a bachelor's degree in social work. She uses a wheelchair her whole life because of cerebral palsy. And so now we have a great aspect here in the studio, a spinal cord injury, spina bifida, and cerebral palsy. So if you have any questions, please feel free to call and ask, and we'll answer them the best that we can.
Absolutely.
Erica, do you want to take a minute and talk about yourself?
Real quick,
Okay.
if you do have a question, don't forget the phone numbers. You probably have them as committed to memory as I do. 270-422-3961, 3962, or the much beloved toll-free number 1-800-203-4175. Now, Miss Erica.
As Alena said, my name is Erica Wilson, and I'm from Glasgow, Kentucky. I do have cerebral palsy. Like she said, if you have any questions about that, I'd be happy to answer. I know a lot of people may not understand, but that is a brain injury from birth. But I got my social work degree from Western Kentucky University, and here I am.
Go Toppers.
Yeah.
Go Toppers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're, what's his name, is going to coach basketball down there. Local boy.
Oh, I don't know.
I can't think of his name. Oh, my God. Shoot
Sorry,
me.
I'm not a basketball
Shoot me.
fan.
Stansbury.
Only people I like in basketball is
right,
UK, and I just cheer them for
Go.
them no matter what.
Oh, Cats.
Yep.
I've got my Sun Records T-shirt on, but there's a Wildcat in there just waiting to get out.
So I want to ask Erica, why do you want to be Miss Wheelchair Kentucky? What do you think you can do for our community?
This is not my first run with the Miss Wheelchair. Matter of fact, I was Miss Runner-Up in 2001 and as well as in 2003. So I took a break in 2005, but as I got older, I decided, hey, I think I'll try that again. And Pat O'Brien said, hey, Erica, it's our 20th anniversary. What do you think about coming back? And I gave it some thought, and I said, well, I've got a social work degree now, so I know what the word advocate means. So why don't I give it
Okay.
why don't I give it a ride? So that's why I came back.
Yeah, I want to add too that Beth was a runner-up last year, was in the pageant with me, and I learned a whole lot about her. She raises funds for spina bifida that I couldn't even imagine raising as much money as she has. And I know that these two ladies are going to end up being really good friends because while you're at the pageant together for those 2 days, you learn a lot about each other.
Yes, you do, and I'm looking forward to November 4th and 5th.
Yeah, that's the major thing about Miss Kentucky. You get around a group of women that are like you, and you have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen at nationals. Now, I will say this: I did the ratio for it for winning Miss Wheelchair America, and it's a 21 to 1% odds.
Okay.
No. So we'll see how it goes. If you were betting on a horse, you sure wouldn't want to bet on that one.
But you know what? And everybody is in this because they want to be in this, just like any other pageant.
Right, and I want to say that it's not a beauty pageant. It's not judged at looks at all. It's judged on how we speak. It's judged on what we know about disabilities. It's judged on how we are in the community and what we can do for the community. It's not a typical pageant. We have to give speeches. We have to answer some silly questions. I know one of my silly questions is great. I don't know if they'll ever ask this again, but it was awesome. They said, if you want to be Miss Wheelchair Kentucky, you have to sing for it. And I cannot sing at all. So I just started throwing up my hands and moving my wheelchair around and and singing about advocacy and everything. Mm-hmm. So, you get some fun questions. It's not really, it has its serious moments, but it also has so much fun.
So you just threw it out there. You just made stuff up as you as you went along. What's the word I'm looking for? Freestyle.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, and
freestyle. Yeah,
you have to do that because when we're out in public, we never know what's going to happen or who's going to say something. So we have to be ready for any answer to any question.
I know I saw Alena at a ball game. She threw out the first pitch, and my mother said, well, I'm glad you can sing. And I said, well, why? She said, because if you get chosen, maybe they'll ask you to do the national anthem instead of throwing a ball because you're not that coordinated.
I'm not that coordinated either. Did you see how far that ball went?
No, I didn't.
I played softball in college.
Okay.
So I thought, I can do this. I don't even need to practice. Yeah, well, throwing a ball from a wheelchair, a little different than throwing it standing up. I didn't even get it to home plate. It, went all curved, and the poor Louisville Bats mascot had to run and chase it down. And
oh, poor buddy. Poor buddy the bat. But he looked like he could use
A good run?
The exercise, because I've noticed, especially on winter break, the wings, little meaty on a couple of spots on the wings. But you guys, I don't see how you find time to do some of the stuff that you do and actually rest but you're like everybody else. You squeeze it in somehow or another.
Yeah,
You operate off that motto: "Sleep is for sissies."
This is Beth. I stay pretty busy, especially with spina bifida, but I also do a lot of work at our local church, it's Beachland Baptist Church in Louisville.
Which one?
Beachland Baptist Church.
Beachland. Okay.
I do a lot of work with them. We have a missions team, and we have a group that goes to the Dominican Republic. So, as well as raising funds for people with disabilities, I also help raise other awareness and other funds for people to actually go over to the Dominican Republic and other places such as that, and local missions as well. And I try to be as involved as I can.
That's really great. And sometimes spirituality is what helps us to keep going. I always refer back to Joshua 1:9, and it says, "Be brave, be courageous. Do not fear, do not get discouraged, for the Lord God is with you wherever you go." And so I take that with me, and it helps to kind of perk my day up and know that I'm not alone in this struggle. It also helps me because I see other women in wheelchairs and I talk to them, and I know that we're all having the same kind of issues and we're all working to get those issues fixed.
And for me, if you're passionate about something, then you need to make that time, because you're the one that's going to metaphorically stand up and say, hey, I'm here and I made it, because, you can see my physical disability, but I also have a learning disability, and I try to stand up for those people too. It doesn't mean that what you see on the outside is the full story.
Right. And actually, on that note, here recently I spent a month in the hospital getting blood transfusions, and they did a bone marrow biopsy. We don't have the results in from the bone marrow biopsy just yet, so we don't know what might be going on. But what they have noticed is that my body has stopped making red blood cells. It only makes white blood cells and platelets are used to make your blood clot. And I have so many platelets that it is causing my blood to clot in places it shouldn't, like my lungs and my heart and my brain. I suffered a stroke, and I believe that it came from something like that. And let me tell you, I'm going to say the name of this, and everybody's going to take a minute because it's 25 letters long.
Wow.
It's called essential thrombocythemia.
Okay.
So, I have to. I'm tired all the time because my blood is so thick. But I still get out and I do as much as I can. Even when I was in the hospital, I was talking about Miss Wheelchair Kentucky to all the nurses and then other people that I saw in wheelchairs. And it's not too late to sign up to be part of Miss Wheelchair Kentucky. If you are a wheelchair user and you want to get involved, please go on MissWheelchairKentucky.org. It'll give you all of the information, and you'll get to meet some of these lovely women. So, and we also know that Mandy Cox is going to be in the pageant as well. She couldn't make it today. Her car died. So, we're really looking forward to do some work with her as well.
And it is a sisterhood.
It is.
Yes.
I mean, it really, you guys, how long have you known each other?
I've known Beth almost a year.
Yes.
Okay.
I've known Erica just 2 months maybe?
Couple months.
Maybe 3
Yeah.
at this point.
Just a few months.
But you guys are sitting here conversing amongst yourself and occasionally kind of throw me a little bone. But it's like you guys have been hanging together for years. You are that much.
We have that bond.
In tune with each other.
We have a bond. You being a wheelchair user, we have that bond. We all know what it's like to have to get your wheelchair in someplace it won't go or anything else. So we can connect a lot easier and build those bonds of friendship. When I go to nationals, I'm going to have 26 women all competing for the same title. But currently, we all help each other out. I have sent Miss Indiana some messages because my crown has to stay here in Kentucky. I can't leave the borders with it. And some people invited me to Indiana to speak. Well, since I couldn't go there, I gave them Miss Wheelchair Indiana's information so that she could speak for them. And as well as that's happened, Miss Wheelchair Arkansas, I can't speak to that, Arkansas. She asked me about how she could get on a radio show because she hasn't done that before. So I assisted with that in her area. So we're really taking care of each other. It's not, like what you see on TV where people are cutting each other's throat. We're not slashing each other's tires so we can't get on the stage. But whoever wins, we know that they're going to do the best they can because we're all putting that effort out. And what better way to connect with the community than saying, "Oh, we have a Miss Wheelchair America,"
and to see the bond that if folks pay any kind of attention at all, just to this conversation, or if they see you out and about together, it's got to jump out at folks. I mean, we always we're sitting and eating at Ryan's or whatever, and we see a family together, and they're getting along great. They've got this bond, they've got this but they see the same thing with you guys.
We call it our Willie sisters.
Okay, and they, I think, if you're made of anything good at all, which deep down inside most folks are, a couple of us maybe ought to be thrown away, but God doesn't make mistakes. First and foremost, He doesn't make mistakes. So I think we are at a place in time, hopefully, that we as people look past wheelchairs.
Sometimes
we are getting, and we need to try to get to that place where we can look past the wheelchairs. We can look past the thick glasses, the service dog, the cane, the different tools that some folks need just to live life 101.
Yeah.
Right.
And you have to remember, there's people from Alena, well, she used to be LaDonna Rogers, or LaDonna Brock is who she used to be, and I'm sorry I'm going to get her last name wrong now because I know she's changed it. She was Miss 2001, and she and I still to this day, we still chat, and she was a big component in saying, "Erica, you really need to consider coming back because you have this social work degree now, you're not a kid anymore." So you make this sisterhood with these people, and I'm expecting that with Beth and with Alena too, that you stay in contact with these people.
Yep.
Pat O'Brien, who's the director of the pageant and Miss United States, she you never leave her. She said, "You may leave the organization, but we'll never get rid of you."
Yeah. And on that note too, Pat is amazing. She is really truly amazing. She's helped me prepare for the Miss Wheelchair America pageant, and I'm so excited to get there and do that I can hardly sleep. Every day I'm checking the calendar to see how many days we have left until I go. And I want to comment about the American Legion because they are phenomenal. The American Legion in Elizabethtown is going to have a send-off party for me the day before I leave for nationals, so I'm really excited about that. And I know that the women I'm going to meet, regardless if I win or somebody else wins, these are women I'm going to know forever. I can tell you right now that me, Miss Wheelchair Louisiana, have been talking so much, and then one day we realized Kentucky, Louisiana. So when they line us up in alphabetical order, we're going to be sitting next to each other. So it'll have that calming moment because we know the person sitting right next to us.
Right. And that's got to be just one more thing to kind of put you in that comfort zone.
Yeah.
One more thing you don't have to worry about. And I know that as you were so gracious to come, even though it was a very cold day for the Relay for Life. You're so wonderful and so gracious to come along with Ryan and Gail, and you were our keynote speaker. and I know that you do that a lot.
Yeah, I was actually the commencement speaker for Galen College of Nursing's graduation this year, which was really cool. I had never been a commencement speaker before, but it was a wonderful opportunity. It almost felt like I was graduating again because I got to watch all the smiles of these young ladies and guys trotting across the stage.
And the hats
going up. Yep.
Going up in the air.
And Galen College of Nursing, I have to tell you, they were allowed, we weren't allowed to do this, but they were allowed to decorate their cap, the top of their cap. And some of the decorations were phenomenal. I was like, man, these people are crafty.
Okay.
So some schools let you do that. Other ones are like to be more formal, but it was
gonna
really.
Say Western lets you do that because I did it on mine. Ha ha ha. So.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But some folks are just like, this commands respect, and we have to have decorum.
Yeah.
And and I'm like,
there wasn't much decorum at mine.
You're right, and while I get that,
you gotta have fun too.
It's the moment when you have completed your task. It's that moment. Kick them up a little bit.
Yeah, I tell you.
Don't plan on bailing students out of jail.
Yeah.
But a little wiggle room really never hurt anybody.
Yeah. Well, and I got really lucky. For my second master's degree is in dispute resolution, and I go up to cross the stage and I start bawling. I'm just crying my eyes out, and the teacher that puts the hood on for you when you have your master's degree looks at me and says, "Why are you crying now? You've already finished it." And so then it made me giggle, and everybody cheered, but you get so excited about things that you just can't control the happiness. Right. And I've been that way over in nationals. I tell you, I was so excited when I started packing that I bawled my eyes out. And I'm not a crier, but it sure sounds like it when I get excited.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with showing emotion. I learned this a long time ago. I went through my wife and I went through a rough patch or two, some self-induced pain and goofy stuff that because of the grace and the patience and the strength of God and us relying on Him, able to come out of that tailspin, give credit where credit is due.
Yep.
Thank you, Jesus. But you learn a lot about yourself. You learn that we are strong.
Yeah.
Folks are strong, but we also need to be smart enough to know where that strength comes from.
Yeah. And there's different ways you get that strength.
Sure.
And
absolutely.
It's really, I have to say, after my injury, it slowed me down a lot. I was so busy with my master's degrees, and I was so busy working that I forgot about anything else. I was only doing my thing. Right. So after my injury, I slowed down a lot, and I got to looking at things around me and realizing how beautiful life can be.
Sure.
Even children with disabilities, you wouldn't imagine when working with them the things they come up with, how to get around their disability, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful that they can do that, and they have that stamina to keep pushing on. When some people have looked at me and said, if I was in your shoes, I would give up. Yeah. And they may think that, but once you get in that position, you naturally just want to fight for more.
I wasn't supposed to, Matt, look at Beth, and I know Matt, she and I have a friend in common, Matt Davis, by the way. When I was trying to consider doing this, he was pushing me, and he's like, you really need to consider coming back. And I said, but if I come out about my reading disorder, I said, the CP is obvious. If I come out about that, they're going to think I'm uneducated. And he said, Erica, doctor said you could not get a college degree, and you have two. So he said, you've got to stand up and show people that those barriers can be blown through.
Yeah, I tell this to a lot of parents at our charity meetings and stuff. And doctors practice medicine. That's what we have to remember.
Sure.
They practice medicine, which means there are times that they're not going to be right. So if they tell you can't do anything, well, just show them otherwise. And that opens a doorway that maybe the next person, they won't tell that person, oh, your child won't be able to do this or that. I have a cousin who is adorable. He is 2 years old. He has Down syndrome. And he is so cute. Doctor said he was going to be slow to do things with the Down syndrome. But did you know the other day he learned how to roller skate? At 2 years old, he got out and was roller skating. And, you see bigger kids who can't even do that. So, it's amazing. It's amazing.
You looking at one right now. It has been so long since I have been on a pair of skates. I couldn't imagine, but
we get out on the skating rink.
Padded really
well. We get out. I get out on the real wheelchair in my wheelchair and go around the rink. But when I was younger, when I went to to go skate or something, because I was big when I was younger, we would do the little dances and stuff, like the hokey pokey and stuff. And I realized I can still do the hokey pokey. I just do a little different. So it's a lot of fun. I have fun no matter where I go, though.
And that's the impression I get. You do have fun, and that in itself, coupled with your personality, lights up the room. I mean,
thank you so much.
It truly does, and that I say that to all three of you, because you just roll with it.
Yep.
Never could do a thing, and that's one thing my dad instilled in me.
Yeah.
When I was growing up.
Yeah, and there are moments. I've had moments where my caster wheel on my wheelchair came off, and it rolled all the way down the sidewalk, and it hit a guy in the foot, and he said, "I got a wheel." I said, "Yeah, that's mine." And I had to ride on 3 wheels back to the car. So we have things happen that you just wouldn't believe. One time my mom tried to put my wheels on for me, and she didn't lock the wheel in very well. So when I grabbed it to roll, the wheel went in front of me, and I flopped over to the side, and the wheel just kept going down the hallway.
I've had that happen a couple of times, and it's not fun trying to get back up once you get the wheel put back in place.
It's, but you got to be able to laugh at yourself. You've got to be able to laugh at the situation that you're put in. And because if you don't, you're going to be so serious that you lose the stamina to do what you want to do.
Sure.
So, and I just want to put some information out while we still have a little bit of time left.
Absolutely.
You can find me on Facebook under Miss Wheelchair Kentucky, or you can look it up as Alena Chesser. That's ALENA CHESSER. And along with that, you can go to MissWheelchairKentucky.org to find out more about the pageant and what they look for. And if you want to be in it or know somebody that you might recommend it to, that would be a great way to show them. Also, coming up, we're going to start the People's Choice Award. That is awarded to one of the national competitors that has the most votes. To vote, you want to go on MissWheelchairAmerica.org and look for the People's Choice tab at the top of the screen. Hopefully, my fellow Kentuckians will vote for me so that I can get that People's Choice Award at least to bring back to the state.
How many contestants are in the one that's coming up for you right now, Alena?
There is 20, I believe it's 28 women that are going to be in it. Some states don't have a Miss Wheelchair program, but they're trying to get one set up at every state because it is so beneficial. You meet these women that are so intelligent and so motivated, and we're all searching for that same goal. So it's a fabulous program to be a part of.
Well, I tell you what, you never cease in the short time that we have known each other, and not just having conversations with you, but following you on Facebook and the occasional phone conversation and the occasional conversation with my lovely wife, who we will celebrate on the 24th of this month, 22 years together.
Wow, there you go.
Knowing each other 23, being married 22 of those years, and I will keep up with you through her. Oh, did you see what Alena posted? I'm like, no, and so then we start the conversation about that. But you truly, the three of you, even though two of you have just met, you are such an inspiration to people out there. And my friends, if you have a chance to go to these competitions, to see one of these ladies as a speaker, whether it be keynote or in any other kind of involvement in any event, please, 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 it'll absolutely be worth your time if you will take the time. Spend the time.
Yeah, and you know,
and go to this event and listen to their stories.
Yeah, we get a lot of outcry, you know, of people wanting us to do stuff. I've spoke at almost every elementary school in Hardin County. I have been all over Lexington and Louisville doing things. I even teach a wheelchair self-defense and combative class, which people are sometimes confused. How do you do that from a wheelchair? Luckily, when you're in a wheelchair, your center of gravity is lower, so we get away with more when we do combatives in a wheelchair.
And to keep doing that, and how hard was it for you to transition from? I believe you said you were deputy sheriff.
Yes, yeah, it was pretty. It was pretty monumental because I did not know that I was paralyzed for a long time. See, the surgeon made a mistake.
Right.
He cut too deep into my spinal cord.
Right.
And everybody knew but me what was going on. And, you know, when you come out of surgery, you're on a lot of medication.
Sure.
If you get a chance to look at my Facebook page, actually, you can get a good laugh out of me. I was laying in the bed singing Me and Wmmg. And
you can't go wrong with Janice.
Yep. And
regardless of what kind of meds you on.
Yeah.
Both still flapping Baton Rouge.
Yeah, and
I gotta love it.
My mom recorded it, so it's on my page.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And it's pretty funny to watch. But everybody knew, you know, Jerry knew, my mom knew, everybody knew, my whole family knew before I did. I came out of the emergency room, or the OR, and I got put in a room, and I didn't notice that I couldn't feel my legs because, you know, medication and everything. I found out like 2 days later when I was awake a little bit more what had happened. And I started wondering why the doctors were coming in and pinching my legs and why my legs were all bruised up. It's because they were testing while I was asleep to see if a pinch would wake me up.
How did they eventually tell you, or did they was it you that said, you know, I know what you're not trying to tell me?
Yeah, it was sort of like that.
Kind of like that.
My mom kind of broke the news to me, and she thought that I had lost the use of my left arm, which only has 17 pounds of grip, but I wasn't moving it either when they were doing all these tests on me. And eventually I was just awake enough to realize, wait, something's wrong.
Yeah.
You know, and then I got into that mode to just kick in and start doing what I can.
Okay. And so many people, and as you pointed out, all three of you have pointed out, boy, you know, some days are just bad days. You know, guess what? Everybody has bad days. The good news in that is everybody has good days.
Yes.
Your best day ever is not going to last forever. Your worst day ever is not going to last forever. It's a roller coaster. You know, there are highs, there are lows, and you know, a lot of days you're going to kind of plane out and cruise. But that is no different than anybody else on the planet.
You know,
who
I really
lives their life with any kind of respect and any kind of enthusiasm at all. You know.
I just want to say thanks to you again for letting us come on WMMG and talk about our stories and talk about where we're going next and how we can accomplish things. And and hopefully inspire this community as well as other communities to know that it's not the end if they get a chronic illness, or as they age, or if they have a disability. We all are in the same boat at times. We all need the use of that wheelchair. So, we're thinking about everybody with that when we're trying to get things changed for the better.
And everybody has their wheelchair. Everybody has their service dog, their red and white cane. Everybody has their fill in the blank. We all depend on something at one point in our life or another, sometimes more, sometimes less. Occasionally, and if you fall in this category, bless your heart, occasionally, some folks not at all. But the one thing that we can depend on each other, that's hopefully it can be and should be one of the most reliable things, is ourselves, number one, and number two, the people around us, the people that we surround ourselves with, the people that choose you to be in their life,
Right.
Life is what you make it.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's as Maxwell Q. Klinger said in MASH one time, life is just a bowl of baklava.
I got a funny question here.
It can be really good.
I'll tell you a little story.
Sure.
So,
by the way, Rich, your news is really late. Sorry, dude. Go ahead.
So funny thing. I was runner-up the year before I won, and one of the questions they asked me is, "What kind of animal would you be?" And that was my on-stage question. What kind of animal would you be? And I said I'd be a meerkat because it's teamwork and inclusion. And then they ask you a serious question. But then the very next year, when I reached in and pulled out a question, it was the same question. What animal would you want to be? So I have a question for these two girls. Tell us what animal you would be, because you never know. You might pick that like I did. Beth, you want to say what animal you would be?
I would be a dog, because a dog is very loyal and can learn to do things. And for me, it's been a learning
life experience. Yeah.
Life experience for me, to learn how I have to get around in everyday life, and how to make people aware of the advocacy out there, that people with disabilities are people too.
Yeah. What about you,
For
Erica?
me, well, if you'd see my apartment, I've got orca whales everywhere. They're big, but they're big and they're majestic, and intelligence is a big thing for me, because education was a far reach for me. It wasn't as easy for me as it is the common person. So, but they're very intelligent, and they like to learn, and I like to learn, and I like to dig, and like Beth, I like to advocate for things. I hate to bring up our friend again, but Beth and I have a friend in common, and he will scream his lungs out to advocate for things. So, I think that's where I got it from, is from him, and he said, "Open your mouth," and I never looked back. So.
And it's that answer in itself, I think, says a lot about our personality and who we are. You can treat it lightly, or you can make it really heavy, or all points in between. But it is what it is, and it's just part of who we are. It has been my absolute, as always, honor and pleasure, not only Alena, have you back, but to meet these other two wonderful young ladies. You are each as inspiring as the next. Please keep doing what you're doing, because I can't imagine how many hearts you have already touched. I can't imagine how many lives you have already touched. I guarantee you have changed the direction of some folks' lives out there after they have come in contact with you, or seen a speech by you, or a presentation, or just sitting down talking with a half goofy, half serious guy on the radio sometimes. and it's up to y'all to figure out which half is half. But here's the deal. We all, if we could all work together as we have here within this past hour and a little bit, world would be a whole bunch better place.
Yeah, I agree.
You know? And even if folks just keep doing what they're doing, the world is a much better place with you guys in it. And it's our pleasure to have you here. Please come back anytime.
Yeah, and thanks for having us.
Thanks
this is
for
great.
having
Thank
us.
you. It was awesome.
And you're going to be back here in a week or two.
I will.
With another, some more friends in another direction. Look forward to that.
Yep.
And have a wonderful, blessed day, blessed life. Thank you so much. Be safe and keep inspiring everybody, baby. Just keep doing what you're doing, ladies. That is it for me. I cannot believe the week has come and gone. I cannot believe the hour has come and gone. Richard, I owe you 7 minutes, my friend. I am clean, smooth, gone out of here, folks, like grease through a goose. I will see you bright and early Monday morning. Well, actually, it's Meade County Fair week, so we will see you all the time for the next week or so. Have a great day. We'll see you.
Webb's Butcher Block has a high-profit fundraising program.